Let's turn back to AI, where earlier this week, Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg posted another manifesto about 6,500 words in length. This one was about the importance of open source AI models, which Meta has re-embraced with the launch of Muse Glimmer this month and more to come. But Zuckerberg's manifesto has been widely met with skepticism and even derision. One tech news outlet calling it deranged. The Verge saying Mark Zuckerberg doesn't understand how to live. And our next guest calls it science fiction that is untethered from reality. Let's bring in Roger McNamee. He's the co-founder of Elevation Partners. Roger, what bothered you about this? Welcome.
Well, Kelly, the thing that we have here is everybody watching this show has humongous capital gains from the investments that they've made in semiconductors and other things exposed to AI. When Zuckerberg comes out with this manifesto, he's trying to solve two problems. He's trying to both create the illusion that Meta is well positioned in AI, which I do not think is the case. And secondly, he's trying to basically launder his own reputation. I think we can safely assume that this paper follows in what is now a 15 or 20 year parade of similar public relations releases that essentially selectively pick elements of truth and wrap them in basically fiction in order to create a position from which Meta can then negotiate with the government. I think it's ridiculous. And I would encourage everybody to just step back and look at what's really going on in the AI market. Because there are real issues that if I owned the stocks today, I'd be sitting there and asking the question, are all my assumptions still sound? Because I think a few of them are not.
Okay, let's come back to that because I'm going to say something that might surprise people. I read the whole essay, 6,500 words. It's about 13 pages. It's not that long for starters. So I'm maybe I'm missing something. But when I went through it, all he's saying is that it's more dangerous for there to be kind of proprietary strong AI models. That just consolidates more power in the hands of high-powered users, who can afford them, versus open source. I thought he was talking against his own interest. I mean, having open source AI models is not a great, I don't think, business idea for Meta. Look at Anthropic, look at, OpenAI, look at Gemini and how much they're benefiting. And here is Meta kind of giving it away for free, and he explains why. I mean, if we take him at his word, he says he believes the concentration of power around AI is incredibly dangerous. I think there's a lot of truth to that. So what I'm curious in is everyone's take that they think he's saying the right things, but that they're doing something different? Because, again, taking this essay at face value, I read the entire thing. He says, everyone will have powerful tools to create new businesses. Everyone will have invention superpowers. Rather than centralizing superintelligence, we should distribute it widely and give every person the ability to direct it. We will offer free versions accessible to billions. This will lead to greater economic growth and more employment. He calls out OpenAI and Anthropic. He says other labs are building AI for companies, governments, or institutions that will favor them over individuals. He says Meta's mission is putting power in people's hands. What's the problem with this?
Well, there are two problems with it. The first one is that when you are not in the game, when you are not winning, there is no cost to tearing down the infrastructure of the people who are winning.
True.
The second element here is that the entire thing elides what's really going on here and what's really wrong with AI. Again, it assumes that the current technology is going to produce something economically viable that will transform the economy for the better. I think both of those assumptions are deeply flawed. It starts with the architecture of large language models. They're designed to work essentially by picking a mean result based on historical observations about the world. So it's not based on real world data. It's based on human observations of the world. And you're looking for the average result. Exactly. But the point here is it picks the most likely, which is to say the average result. Think about this, Kelly. How many use cases pay you greatly for finding an average result?